Have you ever wondered why understanding property laws is so crucial? Imagine a world without these laws. It would be chaos, right? Property laws like the Transfer of Property Act of 1882 provide structure and order, ensuring smooth transactions and fairness in dealings. The Transfer of Property Act, a civil legislation of immense importance, came into existence on the 1st of July, 1882. This act was the response to the need for a uniform legislation to govern the vast number of property-related transactions happening throughout the country. Prior to this act, the transfer of immovable property was under the purview of English laws. This act, however, doesn't cover the full spectrum of property transfer. It primarily focuses on transfer made by the parties themselves, not by operation of law. Although it contains provisions for both movable and immovable property, much of the act discusses the transfer of immovable property. So what exactly does property mean in the context of this act? The term property has a broad application, encompassing tangible things like land and houses, to rights that don't exist over any material, like the right to repayment of a debt. The term transfer also enjoys a wide interpretation, meaning either the transfer of all rights and interests in the property, or the transfer of one or more subordinate rights. In its broadest sense, property includes anything of value over which ownership rights can be exercised. This could be a physical or virtual entity owned by a person either jointly or severally. The concept of property is crucial to human life, as we cannot live without using material objects that fall under the scope of property. The Act of 1882 was created to make the system of transferring immovable property a matter of public legislation. It's a key piece of 19th century legislation governing individual property rights. The Act's concept of movable and immovable property mirrors English law, which divides property into real and personal categories. Immovable property, according to Section 3(2) of the Act, does not include standing timber, growing crops, or grass. In other words, anything not classified as immovable property is considered movable property. In conclusion, the Transfer of Property Act of 1882 plays an instrumental role in governing property transactions. It provides clarity and structure, ensuring that all parties involved in a transaction understand their rights and obligations. From defining what constitutes property to outlining how property can be transferred, this act is a cornerstone of property law. Remember, understanding these laws is not just for legal professionals, but for everyone who owns or plans to own property in the future.